example 1. If you want to, you can just watch, because if you know how to do it, you can pretty much do the worksheet that I'm going to hand out. So we have a right triangle. This is 8, this is 6, this is 10. Pretty simple, right? First question, evaluate sine of theta. So a trig ratio is a function. What you plug in is an angle, and what you get back is a ratio. So let's start at the angle. Okay. Now, let's write out the definition of sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, right? Or O over H. So the next thing we're going to do is start at that angle and see what the opposite and hypotenuse are. Can everybody see the opposite is 6 from theta? Hypotenuse is still the side opposite the right angle, 10. So for opposite over hypotenuse, which is sine, I'm going to write 6 over 10. Or 6 and 10 for O and H. So that means for the O here, I'm going to replace it with a 6. The H here, I'm going to replace with a 10. And then just simplify that. So plug it in for step 3, simplify it for step 4. 6 over 10 reduces to 3/5. That's my answer. The ratio from the opposite to the hypotenuse side, opposite to hypotenuse side is 3/5. Okay? Anybody want to convert that to a percentage? Yep, 60%. So let's give that some visual meaning. That means that this side is 60% of that side. That's what a trig ratio is. Another way to think of it is a percentage. How much does this fit into that? Pretty obvious, right? 6 out of 10. But anyway, that's what sine is for that angle. Okay, let's do cosine of theta. You guys can probably do that without having to follow all of these individual steps, but we get 4/5. Let's just take a look at the triangle and see why that is. Okay, I get adjacent over hypotenuse. Let's see if that's 8 over 10. So adjacent would be next to, that's 8, right? Here's hypotenuse 10, so 8 over 10, which reduces to what? 4/5. What would that be as percentage? 80%. Be 80%, right? So the adjacent side is 80% of the hypotenuse. We don't normally talk about trig functions in terms of percentages, but to me, kind of adds a little bit more meaning to what this actually means.